All right, man. SummerSlam 94 was absolutely amazing. Old school feel. It's the era of WWE that I really became a fan because I loved, Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, all those guys got me into it. These are the guys that kept me into it because this is that next generation of Bret Hart, Lex Luger, Tatanka, Bam Bam Bigelow, Doink, Razor Ramon, Shawn, Diesel, these guys. These were my guys.
Yeah.
Interesting note, a month before SummerSlam 94, Vince McMahon was federally cleared from his steroid charges. So Vince is happy. He's got a big old smile on his face as soon as this pay-per-view opens up. It's Chicago, Illinois, the United Center. It's so funny to think the numbers that WWE does now. 23,300 in attendance for this at the United Center.
And what was the most recent United Center show?
I can't even imagine.
But now they're selling the whole back.
Yeah. They had a 300,000 buy rate.
Wow. That's incredible.
For 1994.
That's incredible.
Dark match was Adam Bomb defeated Quang, which is Savio Vega, his first masked character. Adam Bomb was pretty cool back then. He had the contacts. He's doing the nuclear, the Adam Bomb gimmick. He had the goggles. Harvey Wippleman. Harvey Wippleman was the manager for both these guys, so that's how the feud started.
I like that.
The real pay-per-view kicks off. Macho Man comes out and sends it to Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Jerry Lawler. So we're starting to see Jerry on commentary after this because he just had a big feud with Bret Hart and his family. So now he's moving over. He did have a feud with Piper. It was Bret Hart and then Piper. He had a weird random feud with Piper the pay-per-view before this, and now he's on commentary, and we'd start seeing him stay on commentary.
Yeah.
He's doing what Vince wanted Macho Man to do. Like, I think Macho Man told him to go jump. So he's like, all right, I'll do it to Lawler now. Because he wanted that historically great character to transition from full-time wrestling to his commentator team. And Macho was like, I'm not done yet.
Totally.
Jerry's like, I'm done.
Yeah. He's like, I'll do it. And he did it for a long time. He did it well.
He was the voice of the Attitude Era. I know a lot of people say Jim Ross, but he wouldn't be the same without Jerry right next to him.
Totally.
First match of the night, we get the Head Shrinkers versus Bam Bam and IRS. This is the $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah.
This is when the $1 Million Man was getting out of wrestling and becoming more of a manager. Because his Undertaker would be in the main event against the original Undertaker. So this is the Undertaker versus Undertaker SummerSlam. Head Shrinkers, this was supposed to be for the title. Head Shrinkers dropped the title to Shawn and Diesel the night before on a house show because they wanted to progress that feud. Good old McMahon was doing this back in 94.
Seriously.
Pulling last-minute changes.
Silly shit.
Yeah. Lou Albino was with Head Shrinkers. $1 Million Man was with Bam Bam and IRS. It was a non-title match, like I said. Great match. Great kickoff match. This is when Bam Bam could really go in the ring. IRS could really go in the ring. The Head Shrinkers were doing these kicks and these dives off the top ropes that people weren't really doing around then. So just a great kickoff match. It ends up breaking down. Afa ends up getting involved and headbutting Bam Bam. So the corporation wins by DQ. Things break down and $1 Million Man takes off and lets Bam Bam and IRS just get beat up. Yeah. This whole time during the pay-per-view, Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun is running around backstage trying to find The Undertaker. Yeah. And it is hilarious. I miss when they would have celebrity interactions backstage, like throughout the whole pay-per-view.
Totally.
So next up for the second match, we get Bull Nakano versus Alundra Blayze for the women's title. This is back when they were pushing Blayze as the face of the women's division. They took the title away in 1990. No women's title. They're starting to push it again in 94. So they had a series of matches with Luna Vachon and Blayze. Luna couldn't overcome that obstacle. So the storyline is she went to Japan, got a monster heel to come over and take the title she could not capture. So we get Bull versus Blayze, great monster heel versus high flyer face, that awesome dynamic. Bull Nakano was just completely destroying her the whole match, and then does a top rope leg drop that misses. Blayze capitalizes, retains her title. Luna loses her bond. Fun little note, Bam Bam was with Luna Vachon. That was her main person that she managed. $1 Million Man bought his contract from Luna Vachon so that he could join the corporation. Yeah. So Luna had to try her hand as being a woman's manager when she lost Bam Bam. So nice little layers there.
Totally.
You know? How'd you feel about? Did you ever watch any Blayze's run in WWE?
I didn't.
It wasn't.
I missed it.
I hated it for her because they tried and just women's wrestling wasn't there in the 90s. No one really cared, unfortunately. And then she went to WCW for, the whole dropping the title in the trash can on live TV on Nitro. And then they didn't push her. They had a couple matches with Bull Nakano and nothing else after that, really.
Yeah.
Third match, we get Razor Ramon on his face turn when he was, he turned a little face there against Diesel, who's the Intercontinental Champion. Razor battled with Shawn. He ended up getting the title from him, and then Shawn's bodyguard, Diesel, took the title off Razor. So we get Walter Payton in the corner of Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels in the corner of Diesel. How'd you feel about this match?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I was so stoked to see this.
The future outsiders.
Totally. I don't know. I missed this whole thing. At the time I was 4.
That's fair.
So
I was 9, so I could get it. I was in the height of my fandom.
So it's cool to see the early stages of those characters being developed and just the energy that they were bringing. You could totally see that they were the future of the company.
It's so funny that Diesel felt like he had to do that. That's Big Daddy cool.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You got it deep enough, boy.
Totally.
Shawn ended up super kicking Diesel by accident, costing Razor moved out of the way, hit Diesel right in the chops. Razor's the new IC champion, but this is why they did it, because right after they're still tag team champions together, so they got to find a way to get along. So definitely showed their hand as this being a last minute decision to complicate this storyline while taking away from another storyline.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Head Shrinkers had just beaten the Quebecers for the titles in the first place. So they ruined the Head Shrinkers, a natural tag team, for these 2 superstar tag teams, which, if you know McMahon's track record, he did quite a bit.
Yeah.
Fourth match, adding more layers to the corporation, Lex Luger versus Tatanka. For the build-up all the way to the match, everyone was thinking Luger was the one that was getting bought out by $1 Million Man, so Tatanka was questioning his loyalty. We get to the match. Great match so far. Here comes $1 Million Man to obviously turn Luger, with the money. Tatanka ends up being the one that's getting bought into the $1 Million Corporation. He turns on Luger and joins the corporation.
Yeah.
He wins the match, too, because he gets a schoolboy roll-up when $1 Million Man was. So this is the downfall of Luger. This is when Luger was doing that USA gimmick, and it didn't work because he's fresh off the debacle at the Royal Rumble where him and Bret both won it, and then he got murdered at WrestleMania by Yokozuna.
Yeah.
So this was the downfall of Luger. Yeah. So this was supposed to be Barry Windham coming to reform his tag team with IRS.
Okay.
Because they were a big tag team on the Indies, Windham and Rotunda. But Barry Windham got a knee injury right before, so they had to turn to Tatanka instead. Because it was going to be Windham and IRS feuding with Luger and Tatanka. They were going to keep Tatanka face, run that USA gimmick. The USA guy and the Native American. USA. I'm like, do you really think Tatanka's on Team USA right now? Like, come on. But that's unfortunate we didn't get that. That could have been a nice little... they might have taken the corporation a little more serious, because I feel like the corporation was not taken serious.
No.
Goes on to the 5th match. This was an absolute throwaway match to get these 2 on the card. Jeff Jarrett versus Mabel.
Yeah.
They built this up as country versus rap. That was literally the only basis they had for this match whatsoever.
Yeah.
Was country singer versus a rapper. And he wasn't even the rapper. It was his manager that would rap to the ring, Mo.
Silly.
Mabel, of course, dominated but missed a top rope dive, and Double J capitalized. Double J, Jeff Jarrett won the match. After this match, Abe Knuckleball Schwartz was shown in the stands picketing because they were making fun of the 1994 MLB strike. So it was a guy that was called Knuckleball Schwartz, and he was a pitcher, a disgraced pitcher that was now a wrestler. And he was picketing, I'm on strike, in the audience. So it was a nice little cut to him in SummerSlam. Did not have a long run in the WWE, as you can imagine. That brings us to our co-main event of the evening, Owen Hart versus Brother Bret in a steel cage match for the WWE Championship. Owen is fresh off a King of the Ring champion win. So he is King Owen, completely disgraced from the Hart family. Everyone in the Hart family is Team Bret here. Bret refused to fight him. Owen kept attacking him. We get it in a steel cage. This was meant for Owen's sake to keep the family out.
Yeah.
30-minute match.
It's a great match.
This is when Owen could, he always
really
could
good
go, but
spots
this is
in
when
this
they
match.
let Owen. It really upsets me that Owen took a back seat in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Because, man, they were building him up in the early 90s.
Totally.
Killing it. It was a great match. They ended up both about escaping, and they were fighting on the ring. Owen's foot slipped through, so Bret was able to jump down. After the match is when the real chaos started. That's when Jim the Anvil Neidhart aligned himself with Owen. They both throw Bret in the ring, chain link, lock the rest of the family out, including the British Bulldog. This is when we get British Bulldog back in the WWE, because he would play a big storyline going forward with this, because he took a little break after he lost. I don't know if he immediately took a break, but we didn't see him for a little bit after 92 SummerSlam. Another great match with Bret and British Bulldog in England. This feud was great. It started in 93 at Survivor Series. Bret would accidentally cost Owen to get eliminated. Owen took that serious from then on out. He'd lose to Owen at WrestleMania, but then beat Yokozuna. Because remember, he had to have another match because Luger was fighting Yokozuna. And then Bret got his turn at Yokozuna. But he couldn't go in there warm. He had to have a match before, so Owen beat him. And then he had won the title. So this starts a great feud that would carry on. The following Survivor Series, Owen would talk their mom into throwing in the towel against Bob Backlund. So that was another great piece of this feud. That was the co-main event. The main event is we get Real Undertaker versus Fake Undertaker. You know, after Undertaker was put in a casket and that was lit on fire and chopped up by a bunch of the heels, Yokozuna. He disappeared for a little bit. $1 Million Man brought him back, but we were like, something's off. That doesn't seem like the Undertaker. Wasn't the Undertaker. $1 Million Man's Undertaker comes to the ring. The druids in the casket come out. We all expect Undertaker to be in it. He's not. But the biggest unearned I've ever seen in my entire life is how did they do that light thing? That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
So Paul Bearer opens the urn. This light comes out, lightning. You know, they really...
That was the coolest thing.
The Undertaker's entrances back in the day were so cool.
Totally.
And they didn't have all of the capabilities they have now, and they still made it look so cool in 90. Like, this was cool for any time, let alone 94.
Right.
Undertaker comes in. It's not a long match. He beats the Fake Undertaker, 2 tombstones, rolls him into the casket, never to be seen again. Again, $1 Million Man runs off, and that's that.
Yeah.
So kind of weird way to end that feud, but it let us know the real Undertaker is back.
Totally.
Some great aftermath after that. From that pay-per-view, the corporation would keep growing until 96. You remember Kama Mustafa?
Mm-hmm.
That was the Godfather. He had a boxing gimmick. It was great. It wasn't great. That's when DiBiase would leave to go to WCW and start the NWO storyline. So he would stay at the court. It's weird that the $1 Million Corporation is how $1 Million Man left WWE.
Yeah.
No member would win the title, any title, while they were with the company. So really just a stable of jobbers.
Yeah.
For all their faces back then. Bull Nakano would beat Blayze for her title later that year, but Blayze would recapture it the following spring, only to go to WCW, and we all know what happened after that. Survivor Series, Owen would cost Bret the title by getting their mom to throw in the towel. Bob Backlund's now the champion for some weird reason. Remember the cross-faced chicken wing?
Yep.
That same Survivor Series, HBK would accidentally kick Diesel again. That would turn Diesel face. He would go on to take the title off Backlund. So now that Diesel is full on in the main event scene, him and Shawn would go on a feud at that following WrestleMania. Then Diesel would leave to go to the NWO, along with Razor Ramon. The corporate Taker would not be seen for quite a while. He would come back in 1997 as Chains, as part of Crush's biker gang. Remember when they had the white biker gang versus the Latino gang versus the Nation of Domination?
Mm-hmm.
Los Boricuas, the Puerto Ricans. I loved it, man. So terrible. So blatantly just typecast.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, that's SummerSlam 94.
It's
cool
great.
to see what SummerSlam and their production looked like 30 years ago.
Totally. I mean, and it was, it's amazing how much it's changed.
For the better.
For the better. For the better. But no, I mean, that was That was a good one. Maybe we should do SummerSlam 2004 next.
I would love it.
I believe that's one where Randy Orton became World Heavyweight Champion.
Nice.
Against Chris Benoit.
Ooh.
Whew.
All right, any parting thoughts, sir?
Oh, man, I appreciate you recapping it because, yeah, I wasn't aware of all these feuds and what led up to them, but I really just enjoyed this show as just a...
Nice nostalgia.
Just to come in kind of blind to it. I loved it.
Yeah, it reminded me of my days of going to the video store, and that's how I really learned about wrestling. Is we didn't have the money to get the pay-per-views. Like, I don't even know how much they were back then, but I would get the tape of the pay-per-view when it would come out.
Totally.
So I'd keep up with Saturday morning. I knew who the characters were, but I got all of my early knowledge from those pay-per-view tapes at the video store.
They're so good.
Yeah. I didn't know what time was. I didn't know who the current champs were.
Yeah.
You know, I just knew that's who won at Royal Rumble.
Totally. Yeah.
But I love it, man. Thank you guys for catching back up with us. Check out all that great content at Spandex_standups on Instagram. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our personal YouTube pages, Evan Burke, Drew Harrison. We got all that great content coming your way. Can't wait for SummerSlam. It's gonna be epic.
Can't wait.
We'll see y'all next week.